Howdy SEO Moz fans, welcome to another edition of Whiteboard Friday. This week, we're talking about one of the scummiest, low-downest, dirtiest, ugliest, messiest, nastiest, no goodness things of all in the SEO world. It's called article marketing. Now, there are some good, authentic, legitimate forms of article marketing. They're usually called guest blogging or guest authorship, guest writing. What article marketing has come to mean in the field that we're in is something just sickeningly awful. And so what I want to do today is talk about it a little bit. You can probably feel some of my pain, and then we can get into it in the comments and talk more. I know one of the issues too is that some folks have success with this, especially early on in their careers, and then think, oh, this is how I can do SEO. I can just do article marketing. Let me first walk you through, for those of you who aren't familiar, walk you through how article marketing or article spinning, article republishing is done. So basically we've got our friend here, I don't know, let's call him Fred. And Fred's clacking away on his keyboard. He's like, oh, you know what, I am gonna make a useless, fairly painful to read crap article about why cats are the best pets. And in that article, I'm gonna link back to pages on my site that is about, cat ownership or cat food or whatever it is that I'm trying to rank for. And those links are gonna pass me some nice juice, right? They'll go over to my website. That'll be real nice there. But instead of just publishing on my site, I might publish it on my site, but I'm also going to either take it with me and submit it to a bunch of article directories, article portals, article resource sites. Sometimes they're called article publishers. They have all sorts of different names, article portals or something like that sometimes. Or, even better, I'm going to use the article spinning robot software that I downloaded, which will go and submit it to all these different article sites for me. Oh, and by the way, one of the great features of it is it bypasses the CAPTCHA by reading it, or they have special arrangements, and it only costs me $299. How can I go wrong? My God, it sounds like an amazing deal. Like, who wouldn't want to spin their article with article spinning robot, $5,000 for $300? Sure, that's totally gonna work. So once you get your article published up on all these different sites, the idea is that hopefully when I search Google for why cats are the best pets, I see hundreds of different results. Oh, look at all these article sites that I submitted to. They're all getting indexed, and that must mean they're passing link juice back to me. And hey, some of these article sites have a nice homepage page rank, maybe a 4 or 5 or even 3. Super exciting. Clearly going to be incredibly valuable and useful for my SEO practices. So the goal is I'm going to get these hundreds of sites. They're all linking back to me with the anchor text that I've optimized from my article, and that's going to help me rank. And you know what the problem is? The thing that sucks about this is that sometimes it works. In fact, sometimes it works for months at a time or even a year or two at a time. I was just in New York. I was speaking at an affiliate conference event, and there were some people in the room, and one of the people there asked me, she said, Rand, I do a lot of article marketing, and I'm wondering, instead of writing unique content pieces, entirely unique, I heard that Google only duplicate content checks the first and the last paragraph. So can I just leave the middle paragraphs the same and produce hundreds of different articles, send them out to all the different sites? Because usually the editors, they don't even have editors, or they're crappy, they don't review anything. So if the first paragraph is unique, they usually accept the article and I can get them reposted. Do you think that'll work well? I don't even know how to tell you what's wrong with your frame of mind when you ask these questions. It's incredibly frustrating. And I try to be very empathetic and explain, like, hey, search engines are, they use these Markov chain analyses. They can detect duplicate content, very similar content, pretty easily. And these sites tend to be very low quality anyway. And she's sort of like, well, okay, I hear you, but I did get my rankings up quite a bit when I used the article spinner. And it's sort of like, yeah, the problem with all of this stuff, with low quality tactics like this, is that sometimes they work in the short term, and you have to decide. You have to decide whether it's worth the risk. So let's talk about a few of those. So first off, does Google really want to count those links? Is that what search engineers feel like are going to provide the best results? When I search for something in Google and they say, oh, well, you know what? looks like Rand's article on why cats are the best pets, that's been spun on 300 article sites, so he must be the very best resource in the whole world on that topic. Can you possibly imagine a Googler thinking that way? So instead, they're going to be writing algorithms to try and prevent this stuff from working. And they do all the time, right? Some of them fall out of favor. You can see they'll sometimes publicly lose their page rank, or they won't, but they'll lose their ability to pass link juice, or the sites will be completely penalized and they won't rank anywhere in the top 5 or 10 results, and your site won't rank anywhere. One day, Google just wakes up, does an algorithm change, you wake up in the morning and boom, all your rankings are gone. You're way down in the penalty box and you go, what did I do wrong? I've been a good article spinner. How could they do this to me? Another big risk is the duplicate content side, right? So if you're submitting any content that you'd actually like to rank for, it's going to be pretty tough because some of these article sites are going to, claim it's their own. They're going to earn links to their site more than you're able to earn links to your site. You might get penalized and they stay unpenalized, meaning that they're going to essentially cannibalize the traffic that you could have earned. If you're writing anything really good, you should be wanting to put it on one of two sites, your own, 90% of the time, or maybe 10% of the time on a guest posting on another blog, on another website, on a content site that's has great reach, great reputation, that's going to earn you some trust and authority, not just from the links you're going to get, right? That's not the goal. The goal is to get readership and trust over to your site from real people who enjoy that content. And of course, the content itself. Most of the time when people are talking about doing article marketing or article spinning, they're talking about the worst quality, lowest junk crap. And as you can see with updates like Panda and Big Daddy and Vince a little bit, that Google is just getting so much smarter about content analysis, and they're able to determine what matters in a block of text and what actual people like. They use user and usage data to do this now. Trying to game that system with low quality junk is not going to get you very far. And finally, the thing that I think people forget about the most is they'll spend weeks or months, hours and hours on end trying to spin the right things and find the right directories and getting their articles submitted here and generating some junky crap over there. And I think to myself, imagine if you were doing something authentic. Imagine if you were doing real high quality SEO and inbound marketing. Imagine if instead of doing that, you got 50 more Twitter followers that day, and you shared a bunch of good stuff, and you wrote one guest post that maybe only went to one site, but that link lasted for the next 10 years. Imagine what you've lost when you spend time doing this kind of crap. So are there some alternatives? I was talking to some people at this affiliate show about the alternatives they're using. They're like, yeah, when article marketing stopped working for me, I went with some directory link submission stuff. And then I tried some do follow commenting. That seemed to work all right. And they're sort of like, oh, maybe some no follow comments, like that could work as well. It seems like sometimes no follow comments do work. I'll do some reciprocal link exchanges. No. Just no. Okay? How about you try anything real and useful. If you think that you can manipulate the search engines or that search engine optimization, that the practice of improving your rankings and gaining traffic is going to be done through this kind of stuff, you're living a decade ago, man. This is not going to work. And one of the worst parts about this is that when you do this, the impression you create on users, on visitors who do find you, even if you manage to win, let's imagine that you got your content up to #1 using article spinning and article robots and article marketing, and good for you. Imagine what's going to happen when I come to your site and I visit and I'm like, God, this is totally junky. And then I see a bunch of no follow comment spam that you've left on the web, and I see the articles of low quality that you've submitted everywhere. What am I going to think about your brand? How is your conversion rate possibly going to match up to the high rankings that you've achieved? And if it doesn't, why are you even bothering? Isn't it so much easier to get 100 visitors and convert 10 of them than to get 10,000 visitors and convert 1 out of 1,000? It always is. And so I really want to suggest, it's not that article marketing is evil. This isn't a moral thing. This is about wasting your time and energy as a marketer and doing things that just detract from our profession. So I hope that you will avoid the classic forms of article marketing and consider some real, authentic alternatives. And I certainly hope that you'll join me again next week for another edition of Whiteboard Friday. Take care.